So, miracle number 3, I wake in the hospital a changed person. I'm sharing Christ, I'm talking about God. The hospital workers are coming to me and telling me, you have been sent by God for us. I said, wait a minute, I'm the patient, I got the broken leg, you're the one standing there, how can that be? They said, that's the way it is. God sent you to this hospital to encourage us as believers. You think, that's an incredible thing to happen. So that was miracle number 3. And so the motorcycle righting itself, half a mile away from the accident, us being moved out from the lanes of traffic so that we wouldn't get hurt any more than we are. The police officer was confused. The tow truck guy was confused. But see, the hospital workers knew why I was there. I was joyful. I was excited, and that's not the normal condition of a person who had basically the kind of injury I had. Now, they wheeled me into the operating room. I stopped the operating room. You know, you've seen it on these medical shows. It's all bright. These big lights. They lift you over to the table, and they strap you down like you're on a cross. Your arms go this way, and they Velcro your arms over. You got all these tubes coming out of your arms and stuff. And I'm awake and happy. I stopped everything and asked, I said, can I pray for this? Can I pray for you guys? There's like 8 people in the operating room. And I could tell they were pretty shocked about that. They said, of course, go ahead. So I prayed for the doctors. They went in and did their work. The next day, my doctor came in, which is a woman, and she was all dressed up. It was Sunday. And I said, why are you all dressed up? You going to a party? And she said, no, I just got back from church. And she dropped her head, kind of embarrassed, and said, everybody needs church now and then. And I said, no, everybody doesn't need church. Everybody needs God all the time. Because He's asking for a relationship with us. So, me again, talking to somebody, changing the doctor's life, and we talked about what happened in the operating room. She says, I don't think you'll ever walk again. I said, I pieced everything together, but there's a lot of little bones that are broken. And we just put them back in the right spot. And so I said, the rest is up to God, right? And she said, that's right. 4 days went by, and I was ready for the second surgery. I had these metal poles out of my legs so that I couldn't bend my ankle. It's called traction. And she took me down to X-ray, and they took a picture of my foot. She came back in before the surgery, and she was so excited. And I said, what are you excited about? She said, you can't believe what's happened. And I said, what's happened? And she kind of patted herself on the back like she did it, but I knew she was teasing. She said, your foot is almost perfect. So God went in there all by Himself during those 4 days. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I went for the second surgery on Thursday. She said, most doctors would let you go home right now, but I'm a perfectionist, and she wanted to go in and clean it up. So that I told her, I said, you know, when you go back in there, you're going to be empowered by God's healing hands. She didn't fully understand that, but I said, I don't want you to be scared, because you're going to have abilities that you don't have right now. She came back the next day after the surgery and she said, this is the best day of my life, she said. She said, I was dancing in the elevator. I said, what happened? She said, it just was incredible. Your foot is almost, it was perfect when we opened it. We cleaned it up a little bit more, put a few screws in, and said, you'll probably get 100% of your walking back. I said, what do you think about that? She said, I've never seen it in my life. She says, I had been a doctor for 15 years, I think it was. And she said, I've never seen anything like this. This is an absolute miracle. And she was excited. She said, I want to talk more about who this Jesus is. So, and then at the same time, Valerie was transferred to another hospital. I'm convinced that she was transferred because she told them she didn't have any insurance by accident. So they probably thought, this is going to get her out.
No, it was because they had to do hip replacement. Your hospital did not do that.
That's not what they told me, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, they moved her to Loma Linda Hospital, and little did they know, because they didn't know this, but God knew this, that a world-famous hip surgeon was coming through, happened to be there that day, and he said, I have time to fit her in too, and he did a hip replacement just like that. A world-famous hip surgeon happened to be there the day she was there. He was gone the next day. There for her. Another miracle. It's just one thing after another, and but the biggest thing is a change in me. I realize that I am a messenger. I am here to tell you that God loves you. He wants your heart. It doesn't matter what nationality you are. It doesn't matter what religion background you come from. God is real, because all of the world didn't just happen. He's come down to earth through His Spirit, worked in this situation, and it is absolutely incredible what happened. We will go back to living, I hope not normal life. We will both be changed people. I hope we don't lose the enthusiasm, but I want all of you to seriously consider these 4 or 5 miracles and think, none of them are explainable. Moved out of the roadway, motorcycle driving itself up the roadway, the hip surgeon, the doctor's miracle in the operating room twice. These are not coincidences. These are absolute miracles, and every expert that's looked at it, these doctors have seen this a lot, said this is absolutely a miracle. A doctor from Nigeria, I met him in the elevator on the way to the OR. I thought he was one of my doctors. He came back the next day, which was Sunday, and it turned out he's a Christian. And he said, "Jim, I don't know you, but I like what I see, and I want you to know from my perspective that you were brought here for the hospital, and you were brought here to proclaim about God, and you should be dead." He started poking my chest. He said, "Look at you. You have no injuries." He says, "I work in this hospital. I see what comes in. 50%, 1/2 of everybody that comes off that strip of highway in a car accident or a motorcycle accident or a bus accident does not survive the night." That means what happened? They die. And if they haven't made a selection of giving their life to Jesus, they go into a place that they're not happy about forever. The other 50%, he said, is not a pretty picture. The other 50% comes out with spine, neck, back, stomach, spleen, all kinds of permanent, lifetime debilitating injuries. He says it is so clear that God's handprint is all over this because you have none of those injuries. You don't fall off a motorcycle at 70 miles an hour and walk away with a broken ankle or a broken pelvis. It just doesn't happen. We should be dead. But God had a bigger plan. He wanted me to be here tonight, and we've actually have 2 more speaking engagements lined up. I mean, it's probably going to be continued where churches want to bring us in and let us talk to their people because this makes God real.